From Iverstine Farms Butcher on Perkins near Essen. Welcome to the Labor Day edition, the Monday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hanniger, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Full day here on the holiday as hopefully you are enjoying the Labor Day weekend. Hopefully enjoyed the first weekend of college football. Don't imagine how you couldn't if you listen to this show, how you couldn't enjoy the first weekend of college football, full weekend of college football. But we're glad you're with us today. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
It was a
good morning.
Oh, what a fun weekend from so many standpoints. If you kind of asked us to script it out, at least
it's always good. It's just a little extra special when your team looks so damn good.
When your team looks good, and the picks came in pretty good.
I mean,
Alabama got demolished. This was, if I could have scripted all this out.
You love beating up on EJ, huh?
It's got nothing to do with him, you know.
I know. And look, he's a big boy. Bring it. So.
I hated Alabama before EJ was born. All the way around, just a terrific weekend. Probably more than you could have scripted.
There's a lot of, overreaction or what's real, I mean, let's say when even a Dublin game last year, should we have known that maybe Florida State's in a little trouble? Or they just lost a tough game in week one?
Yeah.
I mean, so is it – and, I got a lot of opinions and watched every game. I'm going to give you specifics why I think this is going to stick and some specifics why this is ugly offensive football week.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot to get into. So let's go right to the headliner. LSU snaps their 5-game opening day losing streak with a 17-10 win against Clemson. LSU's new look defense was every bit as good as the fan base could have hoped, every bit as good as advertised. They turned Clemson into a one-dimensional team, completely shutting off any of the run game that Clemson had. Even Cade Klubnik, who had been a very effective runner a year ago and throughout his career at Clemson, was not an effective runner in this game. When they did make Clemson one-dimensional, they put a lot of heat on the passer. Clemson was so one-dimensional, despite the fact that this was a one-score game, their last 19 plays of the game were all passes, and Klubnik was under pressure in almost all of them. LSU, as we predicted, had fresh legs in the fourth quarter, but not just because they were able to substitute freely along the defensive line and not just because Harold Perkins was used in the way that we had hoped since his freshman year, but because LSU's offense was able to keep the ball for 2/3 of the second half, allowing the defense to get some rest. The defense could not have looked any better. They played sticky man-to-man coverage to supplement that pressure, and they just frustrated Cade Klubnik all night long. To hold Clemson essentially to 7 points, the field goal was off of the turnover. At home is a very, very, very strong defensive performance. Not much more you could ask of the Tigers' top troops. On the other side, LSU's offense was balanced, especially on first down. They were able to get creative in the running game, using guys like Xavier Thomas and Jawan Johnson, and even a little bit of Garrett Nusmeier. The quarterback sneaks. 2 first downs there. One keeper.
Under center, huh?
Under center, yeah. It was a beautiful thing to see.
I saw a little bit more. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I saw a little bit more of that in other games, too.
Yeah.
In short yardage situation. Getting under center.
Yeah, don't get 5 yards behind center when, you only need a yard. The offensive line held up. The game plan to get the ball out of Garrett Nussmeier's hands was a very good one. LSU used a screen game, not just on the perimeter, but in the middle of the field. One big play in particular to Aaron Anderson that kind of got the offense going in the second half. They held the ball for 2/3 of the second half, like we said, and then for the game, the time of possession was not quite 2/3, but approaching that. They were able to protect Nusmeier. The offensive line wasn't perfect, but they were far, far from the big liability that maybe we had feared going into this thing. We saw a little bit of a rotation, but not a drastic rotation. We saw at left guard Paul Mubenga take most of the snaps, but we saw Cohen Eccles take some of them. DJ Chester even went in at tackle for a handful of plays when Tyree Adams got hurt. They were able to utilize a lot of different weapons. 9 different players caught balls. So it was a very balanced offensive attack. No, they didn't go down the field very much, but part of the game plan. You got to respect Clemson's defensive front. Those guys would get after the passer, and with an inexperienced offensive line, they didn't want to put them in the position of having to protect Garrett Nusmeier for long periods of time on those deep balls. So they really didn't run it. I thought Nusmeier was terrific. I thought Harold Perkins was scary. He was so good in this game that I forgot to be mad that they completely wasted 2 years of his career sticking him in the middle of the defense. I thought Mansour Delane was maybe the highlight of the defensive additions, but he was far from the only one. You saw on the Klubnik interception, Patrick Payton, again, fresh legs, coming in there, getting heat on Klubnik and forcing the errant throw. I thought Jordan Gilbert, God bless him, he had such a rough year last year. I thought he held up well in the first half, and I thought A.J. Halsey, when he came in at halftime, was very good after that. And I thought that, the Weeks brothers were really, really good. There was a lot of good in this game on defense. It was not perfect. The end of the first half, it never is, but at the end of the first half, sort of a clock cluster, if you will. I know we're going to go through that play-by-play. I would have preferred they called a timeout earlier in the sequence and or kicked the field goal. There were some special teams problems here. They had some penalties that wiped out, particularly late in the game, a really good return, and they failed to down one down on the 3-yard line, which really would have helped. They missed a field goal and Ramos cramped up a little bit. But those are things that you can fix and move forward. And overall, Jimmy, I just thought this was a terrific effort against a really good team in a hostile environment with a ton of pressure. LSU showed up.
All right, a lot there. We debated a little bit downfield. Come on, Charlie. I mean, how many throws did they throw past 20 yards? This was not the game in the matchup.
You can't do
but
that,
you kind of pushed back on us. I mean, in me on last week. I mean, and the one you did, you got robbed. I mean, they
right.
I mean, that's.
And
But they made the same call yesterday, South Carolina game.
They
saw that, Max?
They did. The difference was that Brown had the ball inbounds before the goal line, and the South Carolina player came down in the end zone. I thought that was the difference in it too. But you're right.
I thought they both established that they were clearly in 1-2 feet, an elbow, a forearm, and then it rotated when they hit the ground.
They did, except that for Brown, he had possession of the ball before he crossed the goal line, so he is a runner at that point. So when he hits a pylon, the play ought to be over. If you catch the ball in the end zone, you got to survive the ball all the way to the ground.
Pylon flying down, yeah, even more so. That's correct.
You have to survive the catch even if you're caught it initially in the end zone because you don't have possession until you complete the process of the catch.
For the South Carolina game.
No. But Berrien Brown still has to establish the catch before he's considered a runner. So
I thought he did. I thought he had established, and so did the rules official, by the way.
To me, the only difference was I thought Brown's ball moved a lot less on the ground than yesterday. There was a lot more movement on the ground. Even Brown's was, there was a little bit of movement when he hit the ground, but not much.
I would have called Brown's a touchdown. At least I understand the South Carolina one. The rule, even Des Bryant was tweeting about this weekend. So, what's a catch? But go on.
The other thing, what's the defense is looking great, but listen around. It's defense. Every year, the defenses are ahead of the offenses. Now, what is sustainable from LSU's defensive performance? And I think the overall speed is sustainable. They were flying to the ball. I mean, Perkins and Weeks and just really playing fast. Not you don't want to be. We've seen LSU teams, some of the more really frustrating defensive approaches and defensive schemes where they're thinking too much and they're not just playing. There was very little thinking. It was just everybody seemed to. And yes, Baker, he's going to be a better defense coordinator with better personnel. Who the hell isn't? Okay, I think it's 85. But every time, what is sustainable also is a plan. Every time Klubnik came to the line, he had a little different look. They were just throwing little different looks at times. I don't know the exact blitz percentage, but it was
2/3.
It was pressure, but you didn't know where it was coming all the time too. So there was some disguising. And my point is, no matter what it is, every time he broke, he had to identify what it was because it just wasn't any pattern and tendencies to your pre-snap looks. So that's sustainable. The depth is sustainable. They're rotating guys, and it's keeping them fresh. And the other thing is, this should be a Clemson offense that had, with all the continuity and all the returning starters at home, this should be a little bit more ahead of the pace of a lot of other offenses this week. I mean, who has more returning pieces than Clemson on offense?
Not many people.
Now,
no.
You said this shut down the running game, they made them one-dimensional. Absolutely. Clemson didn't like their running game coming in. They certainly don't like it after Saturday night. So, and the one, but yes, and the other thing a Clemson buddy brought up to my attention, LSU seemed to be more prepared and expect some protection issues. It seemed to blindside Clemson a little bit that they couldn't block them up front. They were having so many issues. And like you said, once the game settled down, because the Clemson did have the ball with a 7-point lead, inside the 35, inside the 30, when they missed a long field goal.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, it's a little. You're saying, man, it should be close, but they're right there to take a double-digit lead in a 17-10 game. That's sizable. But when it settled down and just the talent took over, LSU was so much better than Clemson. So the things I see, and you pointed out too. I'm glad you did. We talked about the 8-man rotation up front. They're good. I mean, just these guys. I mean, 88, man, he was all over the place. Huh? He was causing problems.
Bernard Gooden, yeah, he stood out on the practice field.
How good on the last play of the game? The last significant snap of the game before the kneel down. Perkins is just running.
Yeah.
How quick did he get from point A to point B?
He closes, man. Good night does he close.
Okay, let him play to his strengths. Let him just play. I mean, he was all. Klubnik had a little space there. He was overwhelmed. How quickly he got to him and forced that really bad pass by an ultra experienced quarterback. You talked about the coverage, man. The coverage. It's so you've got playmakers. You've got strengths. You have, and one of your DBs had to miss the first round. You saw him come in, and he's going to make plays too. And his backup didn't do too bad, did he?
No, I thought Jordan Gilbert really played.
So you've got talent at all three levels and depth, and then when you have competition within your roster, some guys when you get out there, Gilbert had to be pretty good if he's going to get back out there.
Yeah.
Because your boy the boy from Houston is good. He's got a nose. He's got a nose for the football. Mm-hmm. He's got a nose for it. If you want to get back on the field, you better take advantage when you get your opportunity. I just think that the part of this is week one, and we cannot be just forget it because we want to get all excited. But I think there's some specifics, like I just said, that are sustainable. Besides just being the ugly week of offensive football in college.
The coverage is what I want to ask you about because you're a stickler for this. Man coverage. I thought, and I know Clemson lost their top receiver, but they had two other guys who were really good. They played a ton of man coverage. Mansour Delane, number 4, I thought was fantastic. They gave him the game ball. But it was more than just that. P.J. Woodland, who ended up leading the team in tackles, he had a sack. He played a lot out there. DJ Pickett ended up playing 20 snaps, okay? They only targeted him one time, the precocious freshman. That's before you even get to Ashton Stamps, who's we thought of as a starter, but, played a little bit in this game, but they kind of rotated away from that. Jimmy, if they can play man coverage like that, and these are pretty good receivers, then that pass rush is going to be a beast to deal with the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So is that man coverage? Is that man coverage sustainable?
When you give me cornerbacks who I can trust in man coverage, I can do all kinds of fun things. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things where, they were bringing it a lot, but they were bringing it also from different areas. Oh yes, that's yes. Delane, I think you compared him a little bit to Robinson because he's slender.
No,
that wasn't him.
No, that's P.J. Woodland.
he's not as tall, but he plays a little. You know, they list him at 6 feet. When you list at 6 feet, means you really
5'10" and a half.
yeah, whatever. But my first impression of watching him and his coverage skills, and not super plays a little bit more physical than maybe his appearance gives you, is Greedy Williams.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, and you know I love Greedy. I mean, he was great, man.
He just looks very technically sound.
Oh no. Yeah, his mechanics is yes, indeed.
How many times did we see over the last 3 years guys just wide ass open? I mean, Clemson, you know, the one ball early in the second half where they thought it might have been a fumble, but he ends up catching it and his knee goes down before the ball comes out, and it was the right call. How hard is that to complete? I mean, if you complete that, God bless you. I'll tip my cap because you're covered on that play. And Klubnik just made a play on that one. Good for you. You ain't going to do that 30 times.
Buddy Paul Stone on our podcast, our handicapping podcast, he singled out Delane and said that he was a kind of like show me as far as the kid from Houston. He thought because he had 5 interceptions, he might be a little overrated. I disagree. And I told him that, you know, for what practice is worth, by everybody's account, they like him. Seems to, you know, kind of, in my first impressions, the second half, I like him. I like the way he was. But, and also when you're a safety, it's a lot of fun when they're getting pressure on the quarterback because you can go on the first move.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry about them getting home. But he talked about Delane, and he said, no, this guy has done it for a long stretch. He's highly thought of in that area. And, I mean, for this guy to be his best was a third-team All-ACC selection, give me a break. This guy can play, man.
29
they
starts
gave him the game
at Virginia
ball?
Tech. Yeah, they gave him a game
So
ball.
they gave a defensive game ball or a game ball.
What Kelly said, we gave Delane the game ball. I don't know how many else they gave out, but they gave him one for sure.
The only thing with that is, so Clemson had they're so balanced with the receivers. I'd have broke the huddle and going away from him. Huh?
Yeah, and
I mean, because you got the top 3 returning receivers, and the one that was his favorite target during the camp that was hurt last year. So you have 4 different options there. Now was it Williams got hurt early?
Yeah,
that was a factor.
That was
as well.
blow.
Yeah,
no question. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but DJ Pickett was out there for 20 snaps. They threw him one time. The freshman, okay? Now, I don't know if they were expecting him or just ended up that way. They threw him one time. This group, the most exciting thing to me is they won a game of this magnitude on the road and all that in the first game. There's room to get better. There is room to increase this.
We got a lot to.
We got a lot to get to. We're at Iverstine Farms Butcher. It's Labor Day, man.
Yes, indeed. Now we're open till 2 p.m. Open till 2 p.m. here at Iverstine Butcher. We are on Perkins, just off of Essendon Starring, and one sad note: we are out of house-made hot dogs. So they're so good, man. But we're out today. But we have everything else, including it's in the frozen right now. The Tiger's Blood Sausage, that was our sandwich of the week. And so we got that over here in the freezer. But plenty in the cooler, ready to hit the grill. Maybe just a little season. We got tons of steaks, fillets, grass-fed ribeyes. I mean, the Denver Prime steaks. I mean, the strips. I mean, tons of steaks that can go. They're ready to go right on the grill. So butcher burgers as well, the steak burgers. They're some of my favorites. I love those as well. So come and get you a little, pound of some of our specialty sausage. Throw on the grill as an appetizer with a couple of toothpicks, maybe some mustard to dip in there. Get you maybe some steak burgers and get some steaks, man. Treat yourself. Labor Day. Tigers win. Get some steaks from Iverstine.
Live at Iverstine, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Coach got fired because he lost his first game. So next time you visit campus, we haven't even talked about stop by and visit an old friend, Louis Cafe. Just I want to talk about games of LSU.
This is Bussy Hyde. The Morrison longer-term outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now on policies that fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look again. For owners or renters, the Morrison Insurance Group can help you all the way to the duck camp or the fishing boat. We also have policies on coastal properties, including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves from
message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs.
Fan of LSU. I'm a diehard fan of LSU.
Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club, Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, a hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941, just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen, and Burbank and Lee.
Hit Moss Max and West Tex during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive. Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and craft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size, these units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Here at Iverstine Farms Butcher, not too late to get your supplies for your Labor Day cookout. Come on by. We're open until 2 o'clock here on Perkins Road near Essen. Garrett Nusmeier, the quarterbacks, there's a lot of up and down over the weekend. We got a lot to get to, but let's start with Nusmeier, Jimmy. They did not put him in a position where that offensive line would have to protect him for long periods of time. They respected the defensive front. Yeah. He made a lot of good decisions. They got the screen game going. I thought he made one bad decision the whole game, and that was the late throw behind the line of scrimmage to Barry and Brown when he was covered. They had a 7-yard loss. Other than that, I didn't think he made a mistake, really, the entire game. I thought that was really the only one.
It's a tough game for him. It's a tough game for this LSU offense and for this LSU offensive staff. I mean, what did you think? Okay, you saw it. You put your eyeballs. What did you think of Clemson's defense? I think they're pretty damn good.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Okay, I mean they got some guys that can run up front, huh?
Absolutely.
All right, so it's not going to be any tougher the rest of the way than this start with a completely rebuilt offensive line who you don't know is that good as a unit yet, who you don't know who your best 5 is. At night, on the road, yes, this is a tough assignment. And the yards were hard. And, man, didn't you see them get more and more comfortable and more productive and more successful as that game went on?
Yep.
I mean, from the first 5 minutes till the last – I mean, man, I saw a lot of growth in one game, a lot. And I saw, heck against, Tech if you got guys running wide open in the clear thing. There were no cheap yards in this game, and your quarterback still played the quarterback position, where so many guys in college football this opening weekend gave up on the passing game and turned into runners, like South Carolina, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Alabama. This guy's like he's running every time. Ty Simpson, Auburn. I mean, Spencer Arnold ran it 16 times. Certainly Georgia Tech, Haynes King, he ran it 19 times. Colorado, ran it 13 times. Sorsby for Cincinnati ran it. I mean, they just gave up on the passing game. And in a tough situation, man, this is, and you got, now I got a guy, I know he's catching the ball when I throw his way. We need to move the sticks. He's going to catch it.
Yeah.
How good did he look? And you got tons of weapons. You got robbed on the call. Trudad's got is he lining up and he's running the right route? I saw a little bit of bickering on one play where he probably wasn't on the same page as Nuss.
One glance at the film for the post game, because Richard was watching him. He said they didn't throw him the ball out of the tight end spot at all. Everything was every time they threw him the ball was when he was out wide. So
he's a receiver.
And he draws 2 pass interference penalties in addition to the touchdown because he is impossible.
He's a headache because he can do things for his size that you don't see. You're not going to go against any players like him. And when you have that, and then he's just trying to. Will Wade offered him a basketball-only scholarship when he was a sophomore in high school. Mm-hmm. He's just getting basketball out of his system. He's just committed to say, I'm fully football. Well, there's a body transformation. It doesn't happen overnight. But you can see it's starting, and he's not done. He is far from a finished product, and he is a headache to deal with already. And one thing I've always saw, because EJ and them played him 3 times, his hands have always been really, really good. Always been good. But the thing is, I think this offense is getting ready to put up some serious numbers, including this quarterback, because this is by far the toughest assignment for everything I said. And that's why he's the clear favorite as the Heisman right now, the odds more. That's why I got a ticket on him, because this is, if he still had these numbers against this team, I saw Alabama play. Alabama on the road in that position of the schedule is not going to be tougher than it was, moving the ball on Saturday night. I could promise you that.
No, they'd have to make 6 trades at the trade deadline. Max, you thought you had some stuff on Nusmeier you wanted to get to?
No, he was incredible. I totally agree with your one mistake he made. Probably could have scuffed that screen or at least threw it out of bounds.
I'll give him one.
Over him. Yeah, but other than that, the poise. And remember last year against USC, in the big moment down the stretch, the 2-minute, the screen that would have scored him a touchdown, made the mistake. Fell to the moment, and this time he just delivered. He was clearly the best in the second half. He as you said, Jim, he got better as it goes on. And
that's the whole offense with the trust in the offensive line and everything getting settled down.
To Trades, the stats aren't going to really show it because they don't show the 2 pass interference calls. The basketball, connection to tight ends, it's a real thing, and it actually
he's
helps
not a tight
players.
End. He's never going to be a tight end.
Sure, but however you want to grade him, essentially a big player, a big receiver, whatever it is. There's a reason we saw, a lot of NFL players who had basketball backgrounds. The box out on the touchdown. I mean, that is sort of basketball.
100%. Yes, you're boxing out. You're trying to get position, very similar to a rebound. 100%. But like Jimmy Graham. Listen, he didn't line up at tight end ever.
No.
Okay, Kelsey never lines up at tight end ever attached. So he's that guy, and both of those guys have basketball backgrounds, and the others. The Gates, and the Tony Gonzalez, no, those guys were more attached.
But I love the design, too. They got 4 receivers out to the right, and he's one-on-one in the left.
It's clear. It's man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, and even if the poor kid that was trying to guard him was 5'9", even if you've got a bigger defensive back, it's still a mismatch. And they isolate him. I love that
Did you notice
design.
if they went away from Terrell?
Well, that was at him, but that was a clear mismatch.
Yeah, when they had the thing on it. Did I notice it specific? No, I didn't.
Well, the tendency obviously developed is we need a play. We're going to 1.
Yeah,
he's these kind of all-purpose guys. You never know how they go. His receiving skills. Hey, you want to talk about? He put some work in the offseason. He had to. He had to catch 1 million balls, man.
Yeah.
He looks so damn comfortable, Charlie.
And absolutely. And the other thing is he operates underneath very well. We're going to look. We do film study tomorrow, but my impression is Clemson was too high about 90% of the time. So they were going to take that away, even without LSU not wanting to go to the deep protections. They were up too high. The one time they went single high, they hit Barry and Brown. So Clemson was going to take that away.
It felt like toward the back end of the game.
And that's a mistake on their part. That's a mistake. You can't let the team methodically go down the field when you know they're worried about protection. I mean, come on. You gotta trust. Hey, I got some guys up front we believe in. Let's trust that they can get there. And let's tighten up this coverage a little bit. I think that's a mistake by Clemson.
And if they had done it the other way, I'm sure LSU would have noticed that,
Right.
and then they would have gone to Chris Hilton. Chris Hilton was not a factor
And
in this game.
and he's going to be fine,
Yeah.
and he's going to have his time. This game wasn't a Chris Hilton game.
That's right.
This matchup, this time of the schedule, it was not a Chris Hilton game.
That's the way they set it up.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Iverstine, live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Then I feel like the back end of the second half, that explosive play was just right there, waiting to happen. They were starting
Live at lunch.
a little close.
This is
It felt like
Charles
they were
Senator,
set.
Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two
Pre-game,
situations are alike.
ours
So
was
Coastal
plus
Capital
500.
Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation.
Hi, Dad. Saturday morning, plus 500.
Lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Phil Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitalpdv.com. Advisory services provided by New
Nusmeier
Age
and Club, they
Advisors,
stayed, they kept their odds the same until they kicked off, until they started playing.
SIPC.
But Arch,
This is Charles Hannigan.
at halftime,
AC and heating,
7-0 or 0-0?
generators, electricity, plumbing, and more. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and
7-0?
service shop for all these needs. One of
I think it was
South
7-0.
Louisiana's oldest and largest
Okay.
AC and heating
He
companies.
went
Since
from
1980, their slogan
5
has
to
been service
1
today, every day. So no one ever has to go to sleep
to
hot. An
12 to
authorized
1.
dealer, Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Ream AC
And
units.
by when it was 14-0 into the third,
Now,
still no
all your
points.
electrical and
He had like
plumbing needs,
25 yards.
Baton Rouge, call
Oh, the yards were garbage.
480-1000.
They were garbage. They loosened up and all. You know,
Every day.
they were garbage. But
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their
he ain't
customers
done. I'd get a
for all
save
of your
one.
favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new fall ball rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information, great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
you know,
Every other week, our Crowntown room and goes eat place. The Crowntown room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our three large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the churrasco glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other. Prepare
He just got one to stud.
to maximize
Trust me,
flavor.
they
Go
wanted
see
to
place
tap
on
with the
Government
underground.
Street, just off of Hickory in the
I mean,
heart
he
of
was.
Mid-City.
That kid's coming up.
Louisiana. We've got a new home for coverage of LSU,
And there
the
was
New Orleans
things like you
Saints,
said
and the
earlier, like
Southeastern
Barry and Brown
Conference.
had the illegal moves.
LouisianaSports.net features stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Great. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1980. Yes, get off. Get off.
Howard Sharp had a fumble. You feel like that's not going to happen.
Now bowling crabs at Sam's every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m. Friday, Saturday, Sundays, Sammy serves up wide dishes of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, all from scratch. Our best menu of popular appetizers are sure to the tight end. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, your star.
Reminded me a little bit of
This is Charles Hannigan for Coastal Capital
Andy
Advisors,
Reid,
your
some of the
full-service
tight end
financial
reviews,
planner. When it comes to
you know,
retirement, there are no
made.
two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Tony and more food. No corner matters too big, too small for us to aggressively and effectively replace. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. Law offices of OC Brown. Your law firm for a lifetime.
If you go by deserve, they're
Oh, no, it's the best. Yes, it's the best. No question. I mean, Ohio State was good, but yes, sir. Okay, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yes, we are too.
And we return here at Iverstine Farms Butcher, the Labor Day edition of Live at Lunch. We're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job. Neck pain, back pain, muscle soreness, things keeping you from getting around as well as
Charlie,
you like.
even the milkman's excited about
Look,
the
everybody's in a good mood. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway, near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. All right, I want your thoughts on what happened at the end of the first half. They end up going for it on a 4th down and 2 from the 12 with 15 seconds to go when the clock starts. I thought that when they got to the 20-yard line, just inside the 20, they hit Barry and Brown to get down to the 20-yard line. When he goes down, there's 37 seconds to go, and LSU's got one timeout left, and it's gonna bring up a second down play here. I thought at that point they should have called timeout. It gives you, it's your last timeout. I understand that, but it gives you control of the clock. You have an opportunity to get out of bounds. You have an opportunity to get up and spike it. If you have that much time, you have an opportunity to throw an incomplete pass. There's a lot of things that can stop the clock that you can control at that point. When you let it run the way they did, all the way down, then you kind of rob yourself of options. Going forward on 4th and 2 from the 12, I wasn't wild about it. I would have taken the points. But here's the thing. If you're going to run that, I think you almost have to run it to the end zone. If Chris Hilton would have slipped a tackle, okay, at the 11-yard line and gotten the first down, let's say he wasn't going to score. Let's say he gets down to the 6 or 7-yard line. LSU is going to have to get up. They're going to stop the clock for the first down. He was down with 9 seconds to go. So let's say it takes him an additional 2 or 3 seconds to get. They stop the clock with 6 seconds. LSU's got to get up. They got to get it spiked, and then they're going to have to go to the end zone again or kick the field goal anyway. So
kick the field goal.
I would have kicked.
They were going to. It was an unnecessary risk just to kick the field goal again, maybe 4 or 5 yards shorter. And
the distance doesn't matter.
Or you taking a very low risk gamble on trying to score a touchdown on that play on 4th and goal from the 12 is basically. You're right, Charlie. And sometimes some coaches are hesitant to burn their last time out. But when is the timeout best used? The timeout is best used when you have a play downfield, the clock is running, and it's going to take some time for it, which that was. So you got to either spike it or timeout. You can't just get up there, and you have to be, because you're getting more use. You're saving more time out of the timeout when you have a play that takes a little time for you to line up. For some reason, they're just a little reluctant to burning that last time out. But it was not best used, no question about that. But it was an unnecessary risk just to kick the field goal again. Yeah, and that's the thing.
And by that time, the game had settled in enough to know that nobody was going to score 35 points in this game.
I'm going to give Max credit, though. Yeah. Oh, the yards were tough.
So give me the 3 points.
No. Give me the field goal attempt.
Yeah.
We're going to be a little bit better on this show. And to Max's credit, because give me the point. No, it's college kicking, and things happen all the time. All right. So give me the field goal attempt. Because I've heard that a lot. To give me the point. No, it's not automatic.
No, it's not automatic.
It's not automatic.
I feel pretty good about his ability to make a 29-yard field goal, though.
Give me the field goal attempt. I think it was a high percentage play, yes. But it's not. Give me the points.
Max?
Well, I mean, Ramos would have missed it on that kick that he made later, and he would have missed the 29-yarder.
Well, he cramped up. I mean,
could he not cramp up?
He could. No, it's not 100%. I grant you that.
I would say I agree. Some of the end-of-game analytics or end-of-half analytics can always be a little skewed because I mean, like you said, they're probably kicking a field goal anyway, so I just don't think
Yeah.
it was worth it. I agree. I actually think they should have
unnecessary
kicked
risk.
the field goal.
Yeah.
And don't say that fourth downs don't matter. I mean, Clemson's only drive where they scored a touchdown, there were 2 fourth-down conversions, 4th and goal, and then earlier in the drive. So, I mean, 4th and goals actually proved out to be pretty effective in this game.
What game was it? They were 5 for 5 on 4th downs. Yeah. I mean, they were having to take
and
some.
The only thing that people, I mean, I don't want to get on an analytics debate, but watch the Ohio State-Texas game. Texas failed on a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line, and everyone just thinks, oh, it was a failure. But they got the ball back at midfield because they had backed up essentially Ohio State at the 1-yard line. You don't do that if you kick a field goal. They start at the 25. So the next drive can also be affected by a 4th down decision.
I was more concerned about Arch Manning didn't even move his feet. I mean, you got to do more than just lean on your offensive guard there. My goodness.
He is.
We're going to get to him, but the defensive analytics, and I don't want to go off.
Cut me off. I'm not allowed to talk about a man.
No.
I cannot do it. No, but everybody else is blasting him today, but I can't open my damn mouth.
No,
okay?
you can't.
No, I can't. You
can.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man.
You can.
My show, but you go ahead.
I wanted to because I know once we start talking about Manning, it's going to be 15 minutes, and it should be.
No, I
It
got nothing to say.
I
got nothing to say. Really? Did he struggle in his first road start?
Yeah.
In a hostile environment? Okay.
I didn't disagree
The
with
list is
that.
a mile long.
I didn't disagree with that.
I don't have a problem with the man. It's all at the before. But listen, it was he's good. He's probably going to be good. He's dealing with a loaded deck, but damn, he's still pretty regular like a lot of other quarterbacks right now too.
My big problem with what I saw on Saturday, first road start, no question. If Ohio State had
Joe
been
Burrow's
pressured-
first road start. Was it Auburn or Florida?
We're not counting Miami, right?
No, that was not a road start.
Neutral start. Was it Florida? They lost that game. He threw a pick six in that game, I believe.
Yeah, he
If
threw his
that
first
was-
interception. I
if that was
thought
the
it was
first one.
after Auburn. I thought Auburn, which
Might have been Auburn.
he hit the track kid late, but he didn't. My point is, it's hard.
It is. The biggest problem I would be worried about is he missed a lot of easy throws.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when he was protected. If Ohio State had been in his face all day, that's one thing. And the nerves and all that, I get it. And Ohio State, man, he missed throws badly that are easy to make.
Mechanics,
in the
Mechanics were
yeah,
rough.
he was. The interception was particularly bad because he was way late. And he makes this big wind-up throw. I mean, you can get away with that against something. You ain't getting away with that. That ball floated on him.
Well,
No,
he's
I
going
thought
to
he
be
made
all right because his uncle Peyton, he was always strong in the toughest games on the road in Florida. So
those were throws that he should be able to make. My old friend Alan Risher falling out of bed. The easy throws. Forget about the hard
it was
throws.
Alan Rich's first road start. I'm sure it was pretty tough too. Okay, it's hard. Okay?
It is.
It's hard. It's not. It's
I'm
not
not giving
Vanderbilt,
up on him.
Kentucky, Mississippi State.
No.
Oh, really?
I'm
You're not giving up on him?
I'm
You
not
think he's
giving
going to
up
be
on
okay
him.
when he's throwing for 5 touchdowns a game against Kentucky, Vandy, and
They don't
Mississippi
play
State?
anybody for a month. Okay, they got 3 rental wins lined up in the next 3
You'll,
weeks. I'm
you'll
sh-
see every. Don't
I'm
worry.
sure he'll
they
get
are
right.
playing because you will see the highlights.
Yes.
Don't panic.
I'm sure he'll get
16
right.
to 1 is a value on him right now.
My biggest question would be what happened on the easy throws because he missed
The
a lot of
third
them.
down in the last drive where he sidearms it for some reason on a wide
I
open.
mean, he's putting balls in the
He threw a
turf.
few sidearm to, one behind the back
Unnecessary.
where it looked originally like the back just dropped it, but it was behind him. And-
Footwork. I mean,
No,
weird stuff for
he
Manning.
was. Everything got out of sorts because he was playing a legitimate team in a tough spot.
But shouldn't he be mechanically better on the easy throw? Forget about the pressure and all that. This is third year.
Ty
Shouldn't he
Simpson
be
was a
better?
5-star, huh?
He was.
Okay, it's his second or third year, huh? Third? No, it's at least his third year.
No, I thought he was running for his life most of the day, a lot more than Manning was. I thought Manning was protected better than Simpson was yesterday.
Really?
Or Saturday. Yeah.
I thought Manning got a little pressure too.
he got some pressure, but I didn't. I thought Simpson got more.
Ohio State's defense would overreact, but they were pretty Charlie, that game was such a 10 under. Texas defense is loaded.
Yeah.
Too.
Well,
They're loaded on defense.
That field was full of NFL guys.
Those yards were hard in that game.
I thought Sark would use Arch's legs a little more in the game too, just the way that the game was
It's
designed.
funny you say that because these design runs, I don't know how much their family is crazy about that. He is not going to make a lot of money for his legs. Any pro team is going to invest because of his arm. And they wanted to try and throw him in there. Okay, he's bigger and stronger than his uncles were at that. I was surprised. The defensive player, I think it was a linebacker, maybe a safety, that completely had a bad angle and let him get around him on like a 3rd and 15 scramble. I'm like, really? But I'd be careful about design running plays with Arch Manning. I don't think it's.
And how much?
I don't think it's you. There'll come a time in a big game. You got games to lose with the current format of the schedule. Okay, I don't want him running plays against Kentucky, Vanderbilt State, the Renner wins. If there's a play in the playoffs in the SEC championship game where it's a 4th and 2 or a critical 3rd and 3, Joe Burrow type of approach,
yeah.
I'll do that. But I don't know. I wouldn't be so crazy about that.
Did you think he looked confused? Because Matt Patricia got a ton of credit
He
for
looked
this.
confused. Sure.
And Matt Patricia's a pretty accomplished coach.
Sure.
I mean, he got rings on those
even
fingers.
when he wasn't pressured, the pressure has a residual effect. He looked unsettled, anticipating pressure, even when it wasn't there.
And see, I can live with that because I think with the experience that'll come, the bad throws bother me. When you are allowed to set your feet and you put the ball in the turf 3 yards in front,
he's going to be fine.
I think he is too. But that would be more concerning to me than him making mental mistakes.
That ball rotated at the end too. The one touchdown he had. Well, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They couldn't get the best camera shot, but
Did the ball touch the ground though? 'Cause he was never out. Did it touch the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it rotated.
Jimmy Ott, Manning defender today.
Well,
can we get him a jersey?
I mean, boy, I got so many texts.
I bet you did.
I mean,
I left you alone all weekend.
At some point, he's just another quarterback. Sometimes, I mean, do we think he's going to be? Does he have the size, the arm strength, the pedigree? Yes, he's got it. Do you think he's going to be a high draft pick? He's going to be number 1, but he doesn't come without fault. He doesn't come like he's going to, why would that angle not pertain to him? Like he's just going to go in there and just light him up originally.
Right. And it was Sayan's first start. He was okay. Against a really good defense. He didn't make big mistakes.
Bro, he was harassed. There wasn't a whole lot. That Texas defense is loaded.
Yeah,
that defense. I love their DBs because we know Ohio State's wide receivers, huh? They were battling with them, bro. It was some fun stuff.
Jeremiah Smith had a rough day. We don't even know who Julian Sayan's uncles are. I mean, how can we talk about him?
Tate with a great catch, but that was fun. No, that quarterback for Ohio State, man, he was running for his life, man.
He was a 5-star too.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends over at Total Maintenance. That air conditioning system breaks down. Call my friend Lucas Ragusa and his great staff at Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000. You heard some of the horror stories. Even this summer, I called so-and-so. They can't get to me for like 2 days, or they said they're coming, and they didn't come. For 2 days, nobody sleeps hot when you call 480-1000. Same-day service. Yes, indeed. So 480-1000, Total Maintenance. Again, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies.
Live at Iverstine. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Those guys want their touches,
I found it interesting that Sarkeesian got killed last year for being a little too cute in the red zone, right?
They had a lot of struggles.
This was the opposite. They just like did exactly what you thought they would do on all these sort of high leverage situations.
Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Rufino'sRestaurant.com. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Sometimes it's so hard to find someone to do home repair, odd jobs due to storm damage, or just regular wear and tear over time to your home. Do like I did, call Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition. Roofing, flooring, debris removal, electric, sheetrock, painting, and much more. Pretty much whatever home maintenance you need, Clean Sweep can handle. Call Pat Green at 300-7064 for a free no-obligation estimate. Fully licensed and insured, reasonably priced, and for over 20 years in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition, 300-7064.
Get the For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris in Jefferson, Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge's fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Standard Pound Supreme, or custom build your own. Family packs, kids meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
And we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Let Coastal Capital Advisors do for you what they've done for our family, which is provide that lifetime relationship and a lifetime plan. Whether you, no matter what age you are, no matter what your income level is, they'll be able to help you out. Make your plans for retirement now. And they work with your business partners, legal team, your tax advisors as well. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com. That's coastalcapitaladv.com. Talk to Phil Fontenot and his staff. And they are a member of FINRA, SIPC. Max, we're not going to go overboard with the defensive analytics, but we got a couple of numbers here that are worth sharing here.
Yes, so LSU's defense, they have advanced analytics. They gave up negative .316 EPA per play, expected points added. Basically,
Give it to me
if
in
you start a
English.
drive at a certain part of the field, you're expected to score 3 points from, say, the 35-yard line. If you go backwards on a couple of plays, you're losing points, so your expected points added is going down. They routinely did that, negative .316 ERA per
And I get
play.
the stat. I understand the relevance of it. Give me the historical.
Here's the thing. It's the best single-game number for LSU in 11 years, and they did it on the road. That's against any team, all the cupcakes included. I also looked a little bit deeper. The only one where Clemson was positive, the only quarter, was the second quarter. Their other best quarter was the first quarter. So they got better in the second half, which kind of confirms what we talked about a little bit with the rotation on the defensive line, how LSU was going to be able to maybe survive, the emotions of a moment like this and not fatigue. They would be fresher later in the game. That's what LSU proved because they were at their best in the second half.
Well, not just the rotations, but how much the complementary football, how much the offense has helped out. LSU had the ball for two-thirds of the second half. So you're talking about fewer snaps. Well, yeah, that's going to work. I like the fact that it's a percentage and not just the overall number, because the percentage means something here. That defense was lights out on Saturday. We'll come back for hour number 2. Iverstine Farms Butcher here on Perkins Road near Essen. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live
is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks in every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet at $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Over 2 users in Louisiana who are 21 or older. Licensed for Port Bossier City and Caesars New Orleans. Max bet of $25 for losing wins. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop.
I like
Louis
North
Cafe
Carolina,
for
too.
breakfast and lunch,
I think
7
they're
days
getting
a
a
week.
little bit-
Individual omelet, Cajun
the
hash
hate is
brown,
a little
big
bit
cheesy loaf,
overboard.
all served up with that famous open
They're at
kitchenette.
home. It's going to be a
In Tiger
hell
Town
of an
since
environment.
1941. Couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new fall rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy, low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions for future generations of Louisiana farmers to enjoy the same benefits. For more information, great recipes, order online at SupremeRice.com.
1850
By the way,
Boulevard started on Government Street. Gus Piazza took over in the 70s. Now his son Anthony is taking it to another level.
That was one of my picks. So,
In
no, I was
Southtown.
2 and 3, yeah.
Always been a
All of
great
my
enjoyment
bets,
market. Seafood
all of my
places,
picks had closing line value. Middle Tennessee, I had a 9.5 on Friday. Closed at 16.5. 7 points of closing line value. Austin P, an FCS school. I thought, no, I heard Middle Tennessee was supposed to be good this year. They lost by 20.
We believe purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the Southdown Shopping Center.
7 points of closing line value. Doesn't win you the game though. Doesn't do it. 9.5 closes 16.5.
Your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies.
Virginia Tech plus 7.5. Closed at 7, 6.5. Rice. Rice at plus 13. Closed at plus 10.5. LSU under. 57.5. Closed at 55, I think.
Now, all of your electrical and plumbing needs.
I got 56.
Okay.
484-1000.
But I got a ton of closing line value. You went 2 and 3. Doesn't matter. It doesn't do everything for you. By the way, the one thing I was right about, Jimmy,
Cafe by campus.
did you
It's
see
been around since over
the Rice
80 years
ULL
now. We're still doing delicious
at all?
I watched
cheesy
about a
grits,
quarter of
big
it.
cheesy
Which
Lou,
when I-
and those
you know,
They
really
had
original
one
Cajun
double-digit
hash browns.
receiver.
We now offer a pickup window. Just call
ULL
your order
had
at
one
346-8221. Give us a
catch
in
more
30
than 10
minutes.
yards.
Have it ready for
Oh,
you. Hours and
that's
meals,
enough.
6:30
Walker
a.m.
Howard's
to
just
2:30
running
p.m.
for his
7
10
days
for
a week.
24,
So next time
88
you visit
yards on
campus,
interception.
make it a point to stop by
Got
and visit
benched
the
in the
North
last
End.
drive.
Louis Cafe, just outside the
What's
North
his
Gates of
first
LSU.
week?
This is Bucky Hyde of the Morris Insurance. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now finding policies to fit on the property
He was
they love.
running too
If
much.
you've got a hunting
And I mean,
camp,
he's
a
kind
boat,
of
or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look
did,
at
he
our
did.
owners or renters.
Oh, really?
The Morris Insurance Group can help you all the
So
way
Beal
to the
could
duck
play.
camp
Did Beal
or
play
the
at all?
fishing boat.
Yeah,
We also
over
have
6 in the
policies
last
on
drive.
coastal
Over
properties,
6.
including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves in the event of damage. For your camps, boats and trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors,
Rice
get a
supposed
quote
to be a
today
little bit
at
better?
morris-ig.com
Yes, new
or
offense.
call
They're going kind of like
225
Yeah, they were still, it was still close.
Custom
I mean, they
Colors
could have.
Body and Paint.
Well,
We're
new
excited to
offense.
have
They like
Blue
the new
Rabbit
coach.
and
So
Midnight
yeah,
on our
that was
team.
part of my
They're
play.
continuing the
they're gonna
tradition
do
of
it on
exceptional service that Billy
No.
Rapp and Pete McKnight began back
What is
in
off Stecker?
1987.
Yes,
Custom
I mean,
Colors,
that-
located in the Industrial Flex off-seat.
I think they could make
Sellers, Johnson looking
Do you want to know what your case is really worth?
hell of a run.
Oh, no, he's
Reminded you that.
40. He's fucking blind.
I mean, the amount of times he was like 3rd and 13, you're like, oh, that's 4th down.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGR HD2, Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers,
what I
LA
saw.
21
That's what I saw in
12681. Offices in
Easy
Baton Rouge.
throws that look not so
Oh, he
clean.
made some.
I don't think his mechanics are glaringly bad. He's just
Hot with the ball on, on the underneath side. It's a struggle, man. There's no level.
Live at lunch.
he's like 8-1 now.
And return here at Iverstine Farms Butcher, live at lunch. We're open until 2 o'clock today. Come on out your last second grill stuff.
I'm getting me some steaks, boy. Choice
we're
filet,
going to
prime
your
New
house?
York strip. You can come over.
All right.
If Max gets that damn office work done, I'll feed him steaks. I'll feed him steaks till he falls down. I mean, whatever one, just get that damn thing done, boy.
You DVR'd the Florida State Alabama game. I want to watch that again.
Grass-fed ribeyes, boneless ribeyes, Wagyu, Denver steaks, prime New York strip, choice filet. Well, we got the steak burgers. We've got the regular grass-fed, ground meat, homemade bacon, Charlie. If you're doing your twice-baked potato casserole like I like to do, with the fresh bacon in there, and so all your things to your stock if you're cooking at home. So it's awesome. Now the cafe is closed today for the holidays, so we're giving our staff off. But the butcher side, man, get you grilling items. Too. I'm doing it. You come by, Charlie.
All right.
Saratoga, big day.
Okay.
Del Mar, closing day. Come on,
Nice.
So
Nice.
we got some things going on. So yes, indeed.
Rest of the card in college football. I'm starting with Florida State. We talked about Ohio State and Texas.
Well, Florida State was the biggest surprise.
Right at a 2-touchdown underdog. They end up winning the game by 2 touchdowns. My initial impression when I was watching that game is Alabama's not playing hard. They did not look like they were playing hard to me. They didn't look like they were playing with any emotion. They didn't look like they were playing with any fire. Now, there's been multiple film studies that have come out in the last couple of
Showing
days.
guys not
showing
giving
guys
all
loafing.
effort.
But
I thought
they
there
did
was
not look like they were playing with any intensity, and that was a shock to me. That they were mistakes, sure, and Simpson was under a lot of pressure, but did they look like they were playing with a lot of intensity to you?
I've seen all of that stuff, okay? But I also saw some where I thought they were giving effort, and Florida State was faster. Florida State was stronger.
Got muscled, yeah.
Sorry, I mean, that's the thing that's alarming to me. This was supposed to be a lot where DeBoer retained a lot of guys that could have gone in those middle rounds, and they came back. And I talked to Sertan, and he said they're going to be better. Well, I hope so. How much better? Well, they did a lot of things with their Gus Malzahn-esque type of where you had to defend sideline to sideline with that little fast kid on those speed plays.
And Florida State got their money out of Gus the other day on Saturday. They said, why'd you leave a head coach?
He's Alabama's boogeyman, huh?
Oh, get on the Gus bus.
So they look like, and hey, man, he ran his mouth, but he looked like Manziel. Like, give me some of the most elusive, hardest guys to tackle in the history of college football. They couldn't get him.
And this is a kid that got benched at Boston College last year.
He got benched, but I'm going to tell you this. Waistline doesn't lie. He is by far in the best shape he's been in.
Okay.
So he went and he got humbled, and he got hungrier because he looks in great shape. And the difference where he's a running threat and he's so elusive, but he also made some key throws down the field. So you have to defend now all aspects. The first drive where he hit the guy in 3rd and 11, that's the backbreaker. You get the holding penalty. Alabama has like this 15-play drive where yards were hard, and they had to convert a 4th down or 2. I mean, they went down the field and scored the first, but it was hard yards. BC got the yards much, much more chunk style. And then your 1st and 20, you get 9 yards in the first 2, 3rd and 11, you get beat over the top. So Malzahn's got a guy that is his mobility and his athleticism. He loves to have a guy like that. And so when you got to defend, and then he's got that little fast guy, and he makes enough throws. He makes more throws than Nick Marshall ever could. So
and he's got a lot of similarities to Nick Marshall.
That kid looks in tremendous shape, man. He's a little chunky before, but man, he's sometimes you run your mouth, and that's not smart. That's dumb. In the off season, we picked it apart. It was just foolish to run your mouth like that. They don't have to save him. Damn it, man. He looked good. He looked good, way better than I expected.
Way better, I think, than anybody expected. And down the line, Alabama's going to see way better quarterbacks than him.
I don't think it's yes, but Charlie, as far as a dual threat, and elusive guy who can also throw it 40 yards down the field, he's a headache, man. They ain't a ton of those floating around.
No, they didn't play South Carolina.
No, he can't throw the ball like a Nusmeier or whatever. But Klubnik's a different kind of mobility. This guy is more shifty, elusive than Klubnik. Who can busted off for a 35-yard run because they got that straightaway speed. But this guy's going to be a headache, man. Now, we'll have to see how they follow it up. But I'm more alarmed by Alabama. Their personnel just they were slower and not as physical. And that to me is they're not done losing.
Oh, good gracious, no. They got to play Diego Pavia. They got to play Lenore Sellers. Nusmeier's not, the dual threat that this kid is. I get it. Mateer can run a little bit. He had a very nice debut at Oklahoma. There's other guys.
Pavia is the best to comp to this guy.
He looks the closest to him.
I saw, I think this guy is throwing a little bit more on schedule than Pavia. So much of he does is improvisational, where he just kind of does his Johnny Manziel type of stuff.
I find that interesting. Alabama has struggled with dual threat quarterbacks, and that goes back to Saban. This is now 2 coaching staffs that, for whatever reason, Alabama have very much struggled with dual threat quarterbacks.
I thought Saban, because he always had such strong personnel on defense, but everything was sort of controlled. And when anything got out of his control, and he's fine defending, Manziel on the schedule plays, but the improvisational, when it breaks down and guys got to think for themselves and have situational awareness, it always drove him crazy because it was outside of his control.
And especially if you go back 10 years, he adjusted, but he had those big lumbering linebackers, those big
260-pound middle linebackers.
Those giant guys, and they struggled in that portion of the game. I don't want to go overboard, and I think a lot of people will, but I can't help but wonder if DeBoer has lost the fan base for good. And
Charlie.
Okay, you might have had a little bit of, the first year we're going to give you. They gave Saban the first year. But the second year, we're talking about the most delusional and entitled fan base in all of sports.
So he's following the best. He's in the toughest spot ever.
That was going to be tough for anybody. I get it.
Yes.
But he had an opportunity to get out and make a statement in the first game, go out there and really show that, hey, look, we had a transition year. It was difficult, but it's different now. We're going to get back to being Alabama football. And it was 100% opposite of that.
Well, when you make a coaching change, does your roster get rated? Yes, especially when you sit and duck and you're trying to be – and they're not rating you for your better players. They lost some players, all right? But this year he had much better retention. This roster was way better than – that first-year roster is tough. You almost give a pass. Did you just ask if you wonder if he's lost the fan base?
No,
if you lost your mind
forever.
Forever. Until he wins a conference championship or a national championship, they're lost. They're non-believers.
Because
the biggest thing is the $70 million.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time coming up with that. But you remember?
Well,
maybe they will. Okay.
Okay.
You remember Mike DeBose had the whole big secretary scandal? And then it was like, okay, he's dead man walking, and it was too late in the cycle.
This is a different era. This is post-Saban.
But he won the league the next year. So they put up with it. They fired him the next year. They fired him the next year. So even if this guy wins, he's lost. They're never going to believe in him again.
This is way higher expectations. This is an impossible guy to follow at this place. We talked about it. You said he could make a statement. They're not that much more on this. Charlie, my son said he's leaving the stadium. They beaten Missouri's like top 15 team, as bad as anybody could beat them, and they're bitching.
Yeah.
I mean, no, they've lost. He's way. They is going to win the conference championship or a national championship, or he goes to the semifinals in the playoff, and this team ain't close to that. Okay, that's not enough. So, no, the fan base is way gone.
I heard
this
stat yesterday about him having 4 losses now against unranked teams, and that took forever for Saban to have that.
Will Florida State finish as a ranked team? Blue book it. I'll take them. I think they look pretty. I think I like the
top 25. I'm with you.
At the end. Yeah, Charlie.
In the ACC, yes.
Will they finish ranked?
I'm going to say no, but I think it's close. They got to play Miami, Clemson, and Florida, so it's a tough schedule. I think that they're probably an 8-4, 7-5 type team, maybe 8-5 with a bowl game, something like that. I think they're close.
I think 8-4 is a low spot for them. They at Clemson they'll be underdog. Where they play Miami?
They play Miami at home.
Mm-hmm. They'll be favored in that game.
They're at Florida. The games like Virginia Tech and NC State,
they're better than those teams, man. Yes.
You
Yes,
definitely
they're
gonna win
they're
'em.
way better than those
Okay,
teams.
you
yeah.
got a couple of layups. They do play Stanford. I think it's 8-4 is about where
I think that's
maybe
a low spot.
right on the
8-4, 9-3. They're a ranked team.
right
so
on the edge.
DeBoer,
DeBoer has now lost. I think it's either 4 or 5 games that they have lost outright as double-digit favorites.
no. They are
You got it.
they are 3-3 against Power 4 competition since he's been at Bama. 3-3 as a 2-touchdown favorite, straight up.
But because they have such branding and Max, so you think we got to be careful in the point spreads here.
I mean,
Okay, do you know the number one public bet this weekend? The number one.
Number one public bet this weekend.
Yes. Alabama.
All right.
Was it really?
Well,
Yeah,
Jimmy,
yes.
Jimmy, did they not deserve to be a 2-touchdown favorite
They're
over
inflated
Vanderbilt?
lines.
Did they not deserve to be a 2-touchdown favorite over Vanderbilt last year?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did they not deserve to be a 2-touchdown favorite at Oklahoma at the end of the year when Oklahoma was that bad?
Maybe some. Oklahoma was terrible last
And they
year.
lost both those. So
yeah.
there's
No,
your
those are
example.
bad.
And they
Those are
lost.
bad.
And they were 16-point favorite against Michigan in
No,
the bowl game.
This
Okay, see,
this roster
counting.
this roster at this place, I mean, Doak Campbell was hitting a little bit stronger than Nashville was last year, even when they carried the damn, in such an orderly fashion. You got to give them credit. There was no mistakes. They went right through the police cars. They did it very orderly, Charlie. No broken bottles or anything.
Nice of 'em.
But no, this is a better roster and a tougher place to play, to me, than that Vandy Oklahoma. Now Oklahoma was awful last year. That's a bad loss. That Vandy loss is still bad. No, this is a better team.
They'll beat Monona. And they'll beat Wisconsin, but Georgia's a loss. At South Carolina, I don't know if they win that game.
No, man, I think they're going to lose that one.
LSU, Oklahoma, Auburn. I mean, there's landmines all over this schedule. I mean, 8-4 is not out of the.
Man, is Auburn better?
Well, they
they're
certainly
better.
looked the other
They're
night.
better, but man, he's got to be. He's going to be a running specialist.
He certainly was the other night. That's the Iron Bowl, and even way weaker teams have been competitive.
I'll take Auburn. They've got 3 more losses. They're 8-4. Is I hear one for you. Florida State will finish with a better record than Alabama this year. Put it in the book. Come on, Maxie.
Get your book. They're gonna win at home against Tennessee.
I don't know.
That's what
Tennessee's roster looks better.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed wins left on this thing. Even the 2 rental wins and probably Wisconsin. I think every conference game's in play. They got to go to Missouri. They'll probably win there, but I'm not guaranteeing that. They'll probably win.
They got
against Vanderbilt, but in a revenge spot.
No,
home,
Vandy at home.
They'll win that game, but
come on.
but you got a lot of games in play here.
You have a lot of games that they could lose, and that's the thing. They're just another program right now.
Yeah.
They are not like, they just weren't trying. And that's what Alabama fans. You leave your game, your team lost. You expected to win. Well, we didn't have. Why didn't we bring it today? And there were some individual plays, but there's a lot of plays where they were going after it. They just weren't as good.
Moscona's trying to figure out a way to get a horse in the studio this afternoon.
A horse?
Yeah, he said he was going to ride the horse if he was going to ride the Traveler. The horse. For Florida State, if Florida State
Chief
beat Alabama.
Osceola, if Florida State beat Alabama?
Yeah, he said he was gonna ride the horse into the studio, which is on the 3rd floor, so that's gonna be hard to do.
Okay.
Is that enough to say LSU's schedule is maybe a little easier now? Just looking ahead. What happened with Bama? I mean,
Alabama, the Alabama portion of it, yeah. I mean,
I think Saturday night was a tougher opponent than Alabama's going to be later in Ole Miss. I think LSU just played their toughest game.
and the next toughest game is at Ole Miss.
That doesn't mean you go.
Probably.
And I would say a split might be fine
Maybe,
at Oxford
maybe
and Tuscaloosa.
Maybe Oklahoma. It's a long way out. They could be. Mateer looked really good the other night. I got to see some more
Will
with him.
LSU be favored at Alabama come time?
That's going to take more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to take some more.
If they win at Ole Miss, then maybe they would have a chance to be.
They will have to. What game is that?
Ole Miss.
The Alabama game.
November 8th after a
No,
bye.
what game? Number of game on the schedule?
9.
Okay, so if they're they're 7-1. There has to be a 3-game difference between LSU and Alabama for them to be favored. So 7-1 versus 4-3. You know, or 8-0 versus 5-3. You know, I'm sorry, 8-0 versus 4-4. I mean,
I can-
5-3. Yeah.
I can find 3 losses for Alabama. I certainly can find 2
If there's
more.
a 3-loss difference, you got 2 more games, and then they'll be favored. But they won. Do they have an advance line on that game right now?
Before
it
the
went from
season,
9.
it
It went 9. Was it 9?
I think it got around 7.5. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw more 7. You're right. It was 7.5, 8. It's got to be about 4.5 now, 5.
I don't think they'll have anything out yet, but I'll
No,
monitor.
they still have some. Don't forget our friends Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. So you get in an accident, man, it's a pain. And it's going to be a pain. But can we make it as pain-free as possible? And that's where Dana comes in. And he's going to get you in to see the doctor. He's going to get you in to see that specialist doctor that should be made, getting you treatment, trying to get you feeling better originally. And then the biggest thing, the biggest headache, we're not trained to deal with the insurance companies. The insurance companies are not just going to give you everything that you want. Dana's going to fight for what you're entitled to. He knows exactly what you're entitled to, and he's going to shoot you straight. So this is what we're looking at. So call him up, 343-1111. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's team of specialists for different reasons, including when my car got totaled. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Live at Iverstine, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
They might put them back up after the week is over, but with them playing tonight.
The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, fillet on the other. Prepared at different temps if you like. Bone in to maximize flavor. Go-Seek Place on Government Street, just off the.
All right, Blue Book. Florida State will finish with a top 25 team with a better record than Alabama.
Generators, electricity, plumbing.
I said I agree on the top 25 ranking.
Your one-stop
Charlie
sales
said
center
no.
for all these needs.
8-4, 7-5 team. That's what I have.
AC Heating Company. Since
Here's the
1980,
numbers,
their
Max.
slogan has been service today, every day.
All
No one ever has
D1
to go
matchups,
to
all
An authorized
FBS
dealer.
matchups.
Carrier, American Stamp, Dakin, and Ream AC units. Generac
7-1
generators as well.
Thursday,
Now,
5-0
all of your
Friday,
electrical and
12-9
plumbing needs.
Saturday.
Baton Rouge,
It was
call
like closer.
480-1000.
The under?
New Orleans, 841-3300.
2-0.
First half or game?
First half.
Hit Moss Max and
It's
Less
easy
Tax
game.
during happy hour at
Yeah.
Modesto.
Now-
Join us Tuesday
now, if
through
you
Friday,
don't-
2 to 6 p.m.
if
for
it's-
$10
if it's-
20-ounce margaritas and
if
dip
it's
trio with
51,
$5 drink
it's
specials and
26 and a
$6
half.
seasonal cocktails.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's
Modesto,
pretty close to
3930
the exact
Burbank
half.
Drive. Pizza and
I
dessert
almost-
with
I almost
Chainsaws
doubled
Meat
my
Fry
bet on
Tradition.
the
Roll
LSU
Pizzeria
under.
is heating up. It's
I
new
did.
half-off happy hour.
My
Monday
normal
through
bet.
Friday,
I
7
did
to
like
7
big
p.m.
one on the
Nothing
first
like
half
50%
and
off.
then for the
Margarita,
game.
pepperoni,
I didn't do
and
first half. I
cheese.
should have. I just
You're
did
only
the
going
game.
to get this
And
one
craft
chance
beer.
before
Ropa
people see their
Pizzeria,
defense.
3897 Government.
You know?
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat.
And it's
One
still
thing I do think that it will get to a point where it might overadjust because their defense still wants to be kind of chaotic. They want to cause like havoc, and that might make for a few more higher scoring games. And their offense is good. Right, so I think it might get to a point where they overadjust it and they're an over team.
this was the game where they were throwing underneath.
Airline Highway, Highway 74.
About to throw underneath that news because they were
Now, like the total this week is low already. A lot of Texas is not an offensive team. That was a 24-0 game they played against Southeastern.
The tamales are the most popular appetizer.
How do we know? Everybody's behind us.
So you're diehard one again.
Flank fried oysters
I watched it was close.
The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, fillet on the other. Prepared at different temps if you like. Bone
I don't know what to
to
make.
Overreact the first
Go-Seek
week.
Place on
No, I
Government
thought that
Street,
coming
just
in.
off the
There's nothing
heart of
changed. Their defense.
This hour of Live
good
at
last
Lunch
year,
with
but-
Don Manning is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. 343-1111.
Here's on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen, Burbank, and Lee.
think of this at the wedding.
Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tuned to 98.1 and select HD2.
Because Arnold had one of those. He had more rushing yards than passing yards. There's got to be some sort of phrase for that.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
And a return here at Iverstine Farms Butcher. We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. Jimmy, if you
I'm going to get my green egg on. Got my green egg, my Coles from the Thibodeau store, because you try and buy some of these store-bought ones, man. They're just not as good. They sparkle too much when you lighten it up. No. So got that. Go put them steaks on there, Charlie. Steaks and butcher burgers over here.
And you got all your cooking supplies, all your
Tongs,
grills, all
gloves,
your igniter, your little lighter.
Yes, a little lighter. that electric lighter is a must for a green egg.
Pick them all up at the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. The Pierre Part Store, Highway 70 in Pierre Part. Power tools, hand tools, fishing gear. Man, all of your tailgating stuff. You're getting tailgating stuff ready for this weekend, the home opener. Get them from these places and online with some items available for delivery at thethibodeaustore.com. Let's back up to Friday night here for a second. And Auburn with a 38-24 road win against Baylor. Wanted to see Jackson Arnold. We saw a lot of his legs, not as much of his arm. We saw Sawyer Robertson throw for a lot of yards for Baylor, but not a lot of points. I wasn't the biggest Jackson Arnold fan coming into this thing, and I still have my doubts, but his legs made a difference the other night, no question. And Auburn wins the game by 2 touchdowns.
This was definitely, we talk about it, where offenses are, it's much more common for them. It's the toughest spot, the first game of the year, and we see it. We talked about it ad nauseum. I get it. But you saw, and I talked about it earlier, where a guy like Nusmeier, he still played quarterback. And so many of these quarterbacks just gave up on the passing game. Just gave up. And shame on Baylor, where this is supposed to be their best roster. They didn't come close to stopping it. I mean, you thought Matt Mock ran it a bunch of times in the second half against Tennessee. I mean, this was unbelievable. And it came down to like a 4th and 2, one-score game. He goes 40 yards untouched up the middle. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I saw Aranda get highly emotional to try and stoke his team up. Very uncharacteristic. And they gave up the untouched 40-yarder on the next play. So it was a little life, but, man, they didn't get all these stud wide receivers for them to be running quarterback draws. I mean, he's got to try and develop on his arm. So, I mean, that was the biggest thing that I saw this weekend, Charlie. So many quarterbacks. You better try and get more out of their arm. And they were just running all the time, all over the place.
Besides the fact of what Arnold ran for, Auburn ran for 180 yards besides that, okay? So
you saw Baylor's defense last year.
Well, I thought they were supposed to be better. That's what Aranda was
He said
up.
It's his best roster. Well, okay, they got a lot returning, but they weren't good. They were awful on defense last year.
And they were
horrendous.
They were not any good the other night either.
Aranda's back to calling plays on defense too, which he was not last year.
He needs some more players.
I mean, it was
those guys are not. They don't have the players defensively.
It was 6 yards a carry. Besides the quarterback. It wasn't just him. I mean, they ran right through him most of the night.
Baylor did outgain them significantly. They were 3 of 6 on 4th down. So I would just warn that Auburn's defense wasn't any better.
And this is especially when, like we said, we don't overreact to ugly offense, but we can overreact or be alarmed for ugly defenses.
And is Auburn going to be able to run the football like that against everybody?
Hell no.
That's what I think too. Good win for them. I mean, we picked Baylor. I like Baylor in the game, but good win.
Yes, and it was a tricky game. I thought Baylor, when they moved the ball, they moved it at the beginning of the game and the end of the game. The middle parts where they was a little bit hit or miss. but they only had a 3-0 lead. And when it was 3-0, it could have been and should have been 10 or 14 to nothing. And then when Auburn strikes twice, well, they're down 14-3 all of a sudden, and they're playing catch up. Never had the ball in a one-possession game. So a lot of yards were kind of cheap, kind of a lot of prevent stuff. But Baylor just didn't take advantage of their scoring opportunities early, and when you don't, that's what happens. So
kickoff return was a dagger, I thought.
Kickoff. That also led to the stats too, because you're putting Auburn's defense right back on the field where they just went down there, and that could be misleading a box score. That's a kid from Tulane. He was playing at Tulane last year. Tulane losing Mensah. That's a guy who hadn't given up on his arm. He looked Mensah.
Oh,
Mensah. I know it's Elon, but he throws the ball, man. He's good. Okay, unreal. Retzlaff. I want to put a C in there for some reason. I couldn't believe that did not look a guy that just showed up a month and a half. They looked very organized. I'm sure they really good job by the Tulane staff to put him in position and give him maybe the limited playbook, because he looked like he'd been starting for 2 years at Tulane. Yeah. He looked good. We know he can run. He had the long one, but throwing the ball to they look good, man.
And
they look good.
Defense looked really good.
4 picks for Preston Stone at Northwestern.
Northwestern supposedly had some, a chunk of players come back a little bit. They're just not the best thing. The new stadium, it's coming next year. The facilities are off the charts. It doesn't match the roster. The roster is not good.
Convenient for LSU fans that tuned in at 6:30 to see LSU and Clemson. Well, they could kick the ball until 6:52. So what did they give you 20 minutes to do? Let's start at the same time. Did you watch Michigan? You got to watch the first part of Bryce Underwood? I know it's against New Mexico.
I want to watch Clemson in the bus. Man, come on.
Well, you had 8 TVs in front of you, so you saw it all. Underwood, you can see the talent, man. I watched, bits and pieces. Look, I understand it's New Mexico, but I understand why the kid was the number 1 player in the country. You look at him, and
if Arch Manning would have played against New Mexico and Underwood had his first start at Ohio State, would you have any difference?
A ton of difference.
I'm talking about, would Underwood have struggled against Ohio State?
Of course.
Yes,
he doesn't look as good there. But you look at
a little choppy. I didn't see like 65 points. What, they scored like 38?
34.
34.
34.
A little?
I didn't watch the whole game. I'm going to be honest with you.
He looks the part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We
saw those pictures in the offseason where he's got the gut and everything, and it's like, no, he looks fine. He's going to be
Wait a minute, LSU lost a 2-year commitment, high-profile recruit, and they found one bad picture of him and
blasted it all over the place. Of course. Come on, you know how the game is played.
I'm glad we can just at least focus on whether our team is any good or not and quit trying to hate on everybody else. That's what I'm going. It's good. That's a loser mentality as a fan, man. You just got to. Yeah, you want to, your rivals and stuff, but it's been too much of that, man. Let's take care of our own business. Let's see if can we get the 106 staff to figure out who's eligible, who's not before Wednesday for the game of the week. Hey, you did a pretty damn good job of putting this roster together, because this is a way better roster than he's had in his 4 years at LSU.
First time in a while.
Way better.
That why didn't we play a week 0 game? They actually were prepared. They were ready to go.
It would have been worse had they played a week 0 game. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. Charlie?
Yes.
It should have been worse, period.
Well, what hamstrung you here? The clock management stuff at the end of the first half, the special teams problems. Both of those holding calls were on freshmen, okay, true freshmen. They were playing on special teams. So you would have cleaned up a few other things. By the way, if you listen.
Do you think they got better from the first half to the second half?
They did.
Okay.
No.
Well, you got that week 0 game to knock out some of those kinks.
By the way,
that's not a compliment for LSU. That's not just LSU. Everybody looked a little bit better in the second half than they did in the first. A lot of teams.
And if that concerns you, go listen to our pregame interview with Scott Woodward, where he said, Advocate picked it up and ran a column about he is open to playing week 0 games. He is not going to, after next year, he's not going to force his coach into a situation where he's got to go on the road and play a top 10 team. They're going to be some home and home stuff, but he doesn't I think what his word was, he goes, it's a little bit more than I want to force my coach to deal with.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not going to be these games on the schedule. They're just not going to be first.
Some of the people, complaining about this and that, and they don't like Clemson, the Death Valley. You better be a Clemson fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
You want your team to get the most favorable position or the call from that committee. You're pulling for Clemson. Trust me.
And I think they still win 10 games. I said that before the game. I thought that they would make the playoffs, even if they lost this game. Both teams, I thought would win.
I bet them
Yeah.
to make the playoff. I said I was going to do that. It went from plus 110 to plus 150 to make the playoff. The loser of this game was going to make the playoff.
That's
and
what I thought
still
before, and I still think
Clemson's going to be fine.
Clemson's
going to be fine.
I think they win 10 games.
Yeah. So, Charlie threw me off there. We
break it. We break it. We break it 12:30.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is we're open till. So last minute opportunities to come over here to Iverstine Farms Butcher on Perkins, just off of Essendon Starring. So the butcher shop is open till 2 p.m. We got tons of the steak burgers. We got tons of steaks. Period. Wagyu Denver steaks, the prime New York strip, choice filet, grass-fed ribeye, the boneless ribeye. Look good over here, man. We got plenty of specialty sausages. You start off with your appetizer. So last-minute grilling items, we're over here at Iverstine Butcher.
Live at Iverstine, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers.
Charlie, do you take anything
Louisiana dishes, whether you like
tonight
brown, long grain, medium grain,
Belichick,
or the new cornball rice.
college
Supreme
level,
Rice makes your
from what
favorite dishes
Patricia was
even
able to
better.
do
They even have a healthy low
against
glycemic
Texas.
rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have
I
high
mean, I'll be honest. Like when I saw,
didn't need Patricia to go out there and
which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions for future generations.
like I'll be honest, I thought Patricia was like a significant downgrade.
Great recipes. Find them online at SupremeRice.com.
Texas offensive line. Okay. I think that the strength of that roster is defensively. In all fairness to Arch or whatever. So, I mean, I think that offensive
I
line.
did not expect
Did you
Patricia.
see the attempt? Did you see the attempt on the fucking goal? Everybody saw it. The fourth and goal stance. They didn't get an inch.
I mean, Arch had no chance.
No, he had no chance. He's a big. How long it take you to get out of there after the game?
Order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood.
Oh, you're lucky.
Its menu of popular appetizers are sure foods to pick your feet. Sammy's Grill.
Y'all left before the game? Y'all left before the game?
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers with all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new cornball rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at SupremeRice.com.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right. It's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina. Two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
steak so you can grill it for me?
Bussy Hydell, the Morris Insurance. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now.
Let me get this bed down.
Fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look into our owners or renters. The Morris Insurance can help you all the way
Y'all up to, man?
for the fishing.
What's up, bro?
Easy to wear that LSU stuff today, huh? Everybody's repping.
What's up, John? What's going on, bro?
For your camp, boat, trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors, get a quote today at morris-ig.com or call 651-007.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954. Just listen to it. Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the
We return here at Iverstine Farms Butcher on Perkins Road, just off of the Essen and Starring Interchange. We'll be open until 2 o'clock. You need your last-minute grilling items here at Iverstine Farms Butcher. Also, we're brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Morris Insurance Group for those sometimes hard to insure items, your duck camps, your fishing camps, your hunting camps, your fishing camps, your ATVs, your boats, your trailers, your RVs, all of them available, as well as for coastal property and flood insurance. Contact the Morris Insurance Group for a quote, morris-ig.com. And that's from my man Buzzy Hydale. He'll be able to help you out. Those big boy toys that are a little bit tough to insure, and of course your flood insurance on your coastal properties as well. morris-ig.com. A few more games, some other games we want to get to. Jimmy, Tennessee came out like they're going to blow Syracuse clean out of the dome, and but the Orange settled in and they made it at least competitive through the rest
Certainly
of the game.
with the number.
Yeah, and Tennessee, look, they won the game. They won it by 19 points, but Syracuse got back into it. I thought Joey Aguilar, from who they got, Appalachian State, went to UCLA, never played there, and transferred in. They got him in the Nico trade, essentially. I thought early he was missing some throws, sailed a few, but I thought he settled in and really looked good the rest of the game. And Tennessee's offense, the way they were able to run the football, I know it's Syracuse, very, very impressive. Was a little concerned in the amount of yards and points they gave up on defense, but Aguilar, we talked about his numbers, how they had gotten worse from year 1 to year 2 at Appalachian State. I thought he looked fine on Saturday.
Very, but inconsistent,
Yeah.
hit and miss. He made some bad throws and he made some good throws. The thing about him, they can run his system with him, and he can throw it. He can take shots vertically, and that's what you couldn't do. You know, Milton just had nothing. So he's going to hit and miss. Completely different inconsistencies of what I saw out of Sellers in South Carolina and Aguilar out of Tennessee. Sellers, I don't know how you're ever going to have any consistent, dependable throwing from him. He's 240, and he can roll, dude. And I don't want to get in front of him and hit him, okay? But Aguilar, you can't run – it's hard to run an offense like that. Aguilar's going to let Heupel get back to – now, he's not a hooker, okay? Hooker was real – he could make all the throws, and he was consistent. I mean, I just saw them going back to that step where – you had to defend the whole field, sideline to sideline, 20, 35 yards downfield. He's going to take his shots, and I think there's room for growth there. Syracuse defensive personnel, with all their production that they lost on the defensive, on the offensive side, man, they had gaping holes, man. It was very little resistance against, in a first game where it should be harder to look. Balance, you might have some, man. They don't have, the Dylan Sampson from Dutchtown. But 248 on the ground, 247 in the air. Yeah, 248 on the ground, 247 in the air. That's pretty damn good. 39-28 rushing to passing attempts. But I think there's some chances to run the offense and to be balanced. And I think there's some room for growth with Tennessee. Ty Simpson didn't show me anything where I say he's going to get better throwing the ball, even with all their weapons too, Charlie. That was the thing. I mean, Williams had a couple of drops, but
he's in concussion protocol too. He went out,
He did,
early,
but did you ever? Did you see the shot where he wasn't getting separation either? I didn't see him running, in the clear like you've seen sometimes, with him. And maybe the protection was such an issue. Maybe he had the unsettled quarterback in his first true road start. He had a lot of that, but I think that Heupel can do what he wants to do on Aguilar, and I think he's just going to get a little bit better. He had some bad throws. He had some good ones, but I think he got something to build upon there.
They get a layup this week, and then Georgia comes to Knoxville in week 3.
Well, Georgia ran a win, but Georgia wants to lean on you,
They even got Stockton running a little bit in that game. I don't know if it was because it was that game or what, but he was.
Do you want him running the ball? That's alarming to me, that he still doesn't trust his arm. Because when he was thrown in there, okay, you don't have reps, you backup quarterbacks who can run a little bit. We saw him get his clock cleaned in the SEC championship game. Still came back on the field. I mean, he's tough, but I want to see. I mean, you're going to face a team that you just can't run the ball. You can't just run through. You're going to need something out your passing game. And if you can't work on it in these games, and he's running too much in these games, that's a problem.
Do you want your quarterback to be the leading rusher against Marshall? Probably not.
No.
Not
hell
no.
no.
Not any quarterback.
No, it's
in
not
this,
Navy.
Not him for sure.
It's not Navy.
No.
It's not Jamel Holloway, okay? Jamel Holloway consistently had more rushing yards than passing yards. Huh, Charlie?
Spencer Tillman would be in the College Football Hall of Fame if Holloway would have ever pitched him the damn football. Okay, Holloway ran the option as well as any quarterback I've ever seen. Tommy Frazier's probably the best, but Holloway was phenomenal. Lenore Sellers in South Carolina, the first drive yesterday, they go down the field. They got the waggle game going. He's on the move. They looked absolutely fine. I was like, woo.
I put an L by my first half under on that one.
And then
it just shut down.
The rest of the game, it was nothing. The other two scores for South Carolina, and I felt fortunate to cover, to be honest with you, was on a long pass, a one-play bomb and a punt return. And the punt return was after a penalty. So give Beamer credit. He made Virginia Tech kick it again. They kick it. They get the 80-yard touchdown. And Harbor is a speed merchant. You better back up on that cat. But after the first drive, they weren't able to sustain any kind of offensive rhythm. And I love Sellers. I think he's a tremendous talent. I think he's going to be a high pick, and I think he's a really intriguing player. But they beat the crap out of him from that first drive into the fourth quarter. Man, it seemed like he was running for his life. They sacked him 4 times. They had another 7 tackles for losses. And I just don't know with that front, man, if they can protect him. I love the player, but boy, that was tough sledding.
I don't like the thrower. I'm sorry. We kind of both favor him because he's a likable guy. He's a tough guy. I didn't see a guy who's comfortable at all throwing the ball. And some guys
because of that pressure, though, wasn't
Charlie, he threw some awful passes. Some easy passes were awful.
And you saw the rainbow touchdown pass, too, right, at the end?
He can hit at anywhere on the field. He's dangerous, but he's not dependable. And
Yet. I think he can get better. I really do. Maybe it's because I like the player so much. I like the guy so much. They kept trying to compare him to Josh Allen yesterday. I'm not there, but with a little bit of protection, I think
he looked really rough
in the middle of the game. No question. I agree with you.
I mean, overall, can he strike for? Yes, he's going to. I mean, this is the guy on the 2-point conversion late in the game. Alabama threw it in the stands.
He did.
Okay, and so I'm not. I want to see in the first year. I can live with the inconsistencies. We've seen it. Joe Burrow was inconsistent. He ran the ball 30 times in the 12th start of the season. His first year as a full starter against Texas A&M. Okay.
In fairness, it was 7 overtimes, but yes, he did.
Okay. Well, after Charlie, 30. I don't care how you get there.
I'm giving you crap.
This guy, I want to see, but I saw Joe Burrow the second year starting full start. From jump, no, the passing is way more dependable. And I want to see something in year 2. I know it's week 1. I'll give a little bit of a pass, but I didn't. He was all over the place. And some guys they don't ever really get touch or accuracy. And no matter how many games they start, without a doubt, of all the games I watched this year, if I got the 5 ugliest passes or 10 ugliest passes, he had like 5 of them.
I like him more than you do. I think a lot of that was due to the pressure. I'm not going to say there weren't a lot of ugly throws yesterday because you can't.
Dude, he sucked yesterday as a passer.
I think
he was terrible. 330 yards, both teams. It was a close game. You had these weird plays, man, but it was Virginia Tech's not great. They're not great.
They were picked 11th, I think.
They're
in the
not
ACC.
Great. No, in the ACC, yeah.
All right, let's get to this last game before we run out of time. Notre Dame and Miami. C.J. Carr, first start on the road for the freshman, led them to 17 points in the fourth quarter. The first touchdown pass that he threw in the first half, he did about 9 things wrong, and then makes his play for a touchdown. It was like one of those no, 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 no. Okay, yeah, okay. Nice play. Thought Carson Beck looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Had a very nice game, and especially on the game-winning drive. Notre Dame came back and tied that thing. Maybe did Miami get a little bit conservative or just a little bit
Sure they
sloppy
did.
with the 2-score lead? But and then Beck led them to the field goal that ended up winning the game. I didn't think it was really fair on Carr to judge him on the last drive because they didn't have any timeouts left. They had to go the length of the field. He's going to be fun to watch. He's got a little something. Carr. He's a little bit overmatched last night at times, but he's got a little something. The bigger story to me here is, can Miami be really good? Because Carson Beck, once you get past all of the off-the-field stuff and I don't really like his leadership and all that, the physical is still impressive to me. He's a good enough athlete. He's got plenty of arm. We saw that at Georgia.
He might handle things differently in this locker room. Okay?
He might.
I certainly saw a completely different attitude in the guy that when he got demoted, he just quit the team in the middle of the year, and he was a quarterback for Florida State. I saw a guy came in way better shape, so he might, he's got a fresh new start. They're counting on him. So, I mean, they want him to be a better leader, a better locker room guy. So maybe he is, and he did it when it was clutch because neither team did a whole lot throughout the course of the game. And Miami built the lead. They were the better team, and then it how much is Miami softened up their defense and kind of let, Carr get in a rhythm late? But Carr definitely showed you something in how he started the game and how he finished it. And we know he's tough. But, again, him too, 11 rushes a game, you ain't going to last a whole season, okay? I love your toughness, but got to get something out of the passing game. So that was the biggest thing to me. These quarterbacks that kind of gave up on the passing game, and they're just going to start running left and right. There's going to be a lot of guys on the sideline if they continue that.
Loved the little freshman receiver, Malachi Toney, from Miami.
Well, teams are fine. Miami deserved to win. For
they did.
the bulk of that game, they were the better team. Don't forget, tomorrow we start at 10 a.m. Now, that's normally on a Monday, but because the Brian Kelly press luncheon is on a Tuesday, we will be at Doe's Eat Place from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. That's usually going to be on Mondays during game week, but that's tomorrow. But, again, last minute, got a little over an hour to get over here to Iverstine Farms Butcher on Perkins Road. And we're out of homemade hot dogs, but we've got all kinds of steaks. We've got the steak burgers as well. We've got Wagyu burgers. And tons of specialty sausages that you put on your grill. We ran out of the Tiger's Blood sausage, which was our sandwich of the week, so good job there. But, man, you talk about some fun stuff over here at Iverstine Farms Butcher. And, hey, make sure you tell Galen and all the great staff over here you heard us talking about it here on the show.
Live at Iverstine, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Whenever you're ready. This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. We start at 10 a.m. to accommodate the Brian Kelly press conference. 10 a.m. at Doe's, Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen, near Perkins.
Louisiana, you've got a new coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net.
Depending on our
Opinion columns,
And you know, like, no, that's just an indictment.
pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's
There's a reason I
LouisianaSports.net.
do not engage in Twitter sphere.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than
I can't believe
Rufino's.
some of the guys
With
I've heard
locations in
speak
Baton
of
Rouge
other
and
guys that do
Lafayette,
that.
Rufino's
Cannot
is a
believe
steak,
they do
seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. The food they serve
Hey, what's going on, boy? What's happening?
cook when I get off work. I got work at 3. I'm gonna cook when I get off work. We're gonna crew tomorrow. Me, Jenny, Circle K boy. You get like, oh man, I'll see what's going on lunch place tomorrow.
Circle K offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Southeastern Conference Players of the Week. The Offensive Player of the Week shared by Jackson Arnold and Garrett Nusmeier. Offensive Lineman of the Week, Braylon Moore for LSU. The transfer from Virginia Tech really anchored the defense. The offensive line had the highest grade among those. Among that group, he played all 70 snaps, and well, that's it. The Defensive Players of the Week were from Tennessee and from South Carolina. So Nusmeier and Moore singled out by the league here to open up. What you got tonight, Jimmy? We get to Bill Belichick making his collegiate coaching debut.
Man, I like TCU's team this year. They kind of bit the bullet last year and played a lot of underclassmen, and they were able to retain a lot of them. So they have a lot of continuity within their roster, and supposed to be better. Which we're not getting 100% Bill Belichick. That's obvious, but damn, it just reminds me of the first game I watched Arnsparger coach at LSU. A pro guy, respected guy, good defensive. We're just so much more buttoned up, man. We're blocking and tackling better, and it was just I got to believe they're going to do that. I got to believe he's going to improve that. They're going to be more technically sound and just fundamentally sound, and they're going to be fired up at Chapel Hill tonight. So it's going to be a fun little game. But man, you can't help but not be a little concerned that they're not getting what they thought they were.
Thanks to the folks at Iverstine for hosting us
indeed,
here on
man.
Labor Day.
Galen.
Still open until 2 o'clock tomorrow. 10 a.m. start where it does for all of us here. And for Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.